mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in and not getting. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Hey, Dad, not regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it, then I win it. I'm just saying, I'm just living for today.
So, welcome back to some more Camp Geek Squad. This is the first video today, but there will be two videos. The next one will be coming out later. And when I say later, I mean the normal time of 4 o'clock. But this is coming out earlier due to I didn't do last week, so I thought I'd give you guys a treat and make it up to you by doing two videos this week. Now, the original one for last week was going to be Can Percy Jackson Lift Thor's Hammer, where we go over MCU comics and mythology, but that's been delayed till this week at 4 o'clock. Today's video, I was originally, when I remembered about Lucifer's Season 5B and I watched it, I was thinking I will have to do that as soon as possible, but I thought, no, I'd wait a week, so this was going to be this week's video, but I moved it forward till this time, and we're going to talk about my thoughts on it. So if you don't want any spoilers, please go away now, because I might end up spoiling a few things accidentally. Now, I'm not planning to not do spoilers, and I'm not planning to do spoilers, so that is your final warning, so please go away now. If you want to know why I haven't tuned into the video later, why I didn't upload last week, tune into the later video. Now, there were 8 episodes following Season 5B, or 5B even. You've got Family Dinner, Bloody Celestial Karaoke Jam, Resting Devil Face, Daniel Espinosa, Naked and Afraid, A Little Harmless Stalking, Nothing Lasts Forever, Is This Really How It's Going to End, and A Chance at a Happy Ending. Those are the 8 episodes. Now, we're going to start out with Family Dinner. Now, it's quite clear what this episode is in the name. It resumes exactly where it left off, and God says he wants to go to dinner, so they all have a dinner, and first Chloe's worried because because Lucifer didn't say I love you, which we all know he does, the damn idiot, but he doesn't say it, and he goes to family dinner instead, where God makes a meal. It's very awkward. You can sense the tension in the room between all 3 siblings and their father, and Dr. Linda's there because it's her house they're at. They're at Amenadiel's and Dr. Linda's house. Now, originally, God sat at the head of the table, and there were 2 seats on each side. One for one side Amenadiel and Linda sat at, and the other side was for Michael and Lucifer. But Lucifer took his chair and painfully dragged it, so you hear the noise, to the end of the table, to one be opposite God, like the other end, God and the devil, heaven, hell, etc., and also to be away from Michael, who returned the favour by when he's passing food around, he misses Lucifer and goes straight to Linda and Amenadiel. Now, in this scene, it is funny, but also kind of hard to watch, because Lucifer does bring up how bad God was as a father, essentially, and he's bringing up arguments and debates and all this, and Amenadiel's trying to avoid it, because while he agrees with Lucifer, he also, this is God, someone who can just smite him out of existence if he really wanted to, let's be real. And he does like his father, and it's like that trap Amenadiel's in. He wants to carry on moving forward, and he's growing closer to his brother, but God's still God, and Michael is trying to manipulate God, but you can kind of see it that God knows these things. Anyway, Linda is very awkward at first because she starts to say grace, and but God's right there, and it gets really awkward. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much. If you really want to know more about it, just watch it. And it wasn't... I liked this episode, but it was a bit hard to watch. Bloody Celestial Karaoke Jam. Now, this is set up because God's losing his powers. Not losing them, but they're out of control. You find out in a later episode that this is because of Michael manipulating, but in an even further later episode, I believe it's like resting devil face. In a few episodes, like little harmless stalking or whatever. One of the later episodes, essentially, God up and leaves to another universe. But before he does, you find out he kind of did know Michael was manipulating him, and it was all part of his plan. But up until now, you don't think it is. And in this, he's losing his powers, forcing everyone to sing. But they don't realise it. It's essentially they're singing like what they're thinking or what they're feeling in songs. And it's very funny, but I think they do... I don't know. My mum didn't like it. I know that. She wasn't fond of all the singing. And I liked it, but I also didn't. You know what I mean? I liked it, but at times I thought it was a bit much, you know? But now looking back at it, I think it was good. But the reason this is happening is, as I said, God's losing his power, or he's weakening it. But what I love in this is everyone's reaction to meeting God, the people who know. Like Dan and Chloe, those are the two, you care about, who haven't met him yet. Dan, at first, is a bit annoyed until he realizes it's God and tries to apologize and has no idea how to act, and it is hilarious. I found it hilarious. He was like on his knee, putting his hand up, trying to... Also, God does kill Dan and then bring him back to life. Like rewinds time. Chloe straight up tells God off for being a crappy father, but this partly could be the fact that later earlier in the episode, in the end of family dinner, I'm pretty sure Lucifer says, because he asks God, do you love us? And God didn't answer with a flat out yes. And Lucifer tells Chloe, my father doesn't love, and I am my father's son. So I can't say those two words because then I'd be lying. He does it, but Chloe doesn't give up on him or them, and she keeps, essentially, keeping faith, ironically. And then eventually she does break through, but, she does back away, and then she doesn't, and then he decides to go with it, but on a stupid reason. But it works out for the best. I don't care if it's a stupid decision. Him, accepting it because, thinking about things is bad. Anyway, let's get back to it. But in this thing, Lucifer gets burnt in front of Chloe again, showing he's still invulnerable around her. But I think it's less because before he felt vulnerable, so he became physically vulnerable. But I feel now it's more like he feels on top of the world and unbeatable when he's with Decker. So I think it's more to do with that and overthinking things. Ella sings to Maze, ironically. Maze... I can't remember if she sings. Yes, she sings to Ella about, let your bad side out, etc. Because she's in a mood. Dan sings, I believe. Lots of people sing. You have to watch it. I'm not doing this justice. Then you have Resting Devil Face. Essentially, in this episode, God sees Lucifer's devil face for the first time and tags along on a crime scene and interrupts the sting. But by this point, he'd given up his godly powers, or he's hid them somewhere, and he can't remember where. And yeah, that's why he didn't help them with the case. And it's all about that. And then there's Daniel Espinosa, Naked and Afraid, which is essentially the whole episode. Dan's having bad luck upon bad luck upon bad luck upon bad luck, getting threatened and blackmailed into doing jobs for criminal gangs and being around. But if you look closely and remember things, every single thing in there is an Easter egg to Dan's, life since we've met him on the show. And you'll find out later at the end, it's because Lucifer, Morningstar, had it all staged and faked to get back at Dan for shooting him, even though he'd actually helped Daniel cope with the fact that he knows the devil and God now, and an angel. A little harmless stalking. Linda stalking her daughter. Her daughter gets accused of a crime and confesses. Or she was found at the scene of a crime. She confessed. It wasn't her. Linda knew it wasn't her. Linda tried to confess. It wasn't Linda, as we know. Oh wait, no, I got that wrong. Linda confessed, but then the daughter confesses, and then the boyfriend confesses, and then lots of people are involved, but you find out it was the boyfriend who did the crime that the daughter just committed of. It makes it sound boring, but trust me, it is all very funny. And Lucifer's his normal Lucifer self. Nothing lasts forever. Don't watch this video. Do not watch it. I'm saying that because, spoiler alert, Dan dies. So do not watch episode 14, I believe. Or is it episode 15? I can't remember. Is this really how it's going to end? I'm pretty sure that's when Lucifer decides he's going to be God. And episode 16 is the big final fight, you know. Oh, by the way, Remiel dies too, the angel. Michael kills her. And in the big fight, you've got Amenadiel, Chloe, and Lucifer versus several angels. But Chloe has, you know, Amaze's knives. Those were melted. One of those was melted down to make bullets that can hurt angels. And all the other angels were on Michael's side, except for one, who in a previous episode, Lucifer tries to convince 3 big angels to join his side. But he doesn't work with 2 of them. And the last one, the hardest one, the one who hates him the most, joins his side because Lucifer admits the reason he's doing this is because of love. He wants to become God so he can be worthy of Chloe. Which I find adorable. And I love their relationship in this season. The second half of this season. Well, the whole season in general. And then Maze and Eve comes back, and they join the fight with demons, but Lucifer starts a 1v1, but the fighting starts between the angels and the demons when, spoiler alert, Chloe was killed by Michael. But Michael does look like he kind of regretted it, like it was more for he had to, otherwise Lucifer would win type thing, but he did look like he regretted it. But, and this was after Lucifer had the upper hand. So Lucifer obviously gets angry, but he flies up to heaven, and his brother warns him, saying, you know, you'll die, you're still banished. Lucifer flies up, Lilith's immortality ring keeps him alive. He finds Chloe. Chloe doesn't actually remember anything until she sees Lucifer, starts to remember things, but she doesn't want to leave her dad because she's having a picnic with her dad, having the sandwiches she made for Trixie in season 2, I believe, or season 6 of episode 1. Anyway, but the dad convinces her to go back. You know, or not saying that, saying, you know, don't worry, we have all the time. You know, go back down. It sounds like they need you. And Chloe goes down, but Lucifer is injured, falls to his knees, and she's confused. And he says, I can't be here. Only one of us can go down. Gives her the ring, and she goes, you don't have to. And he goes, I know, I choose to. And then he says those 3 words, I love you, and then explodes, or appears to explode, and she wakes up in the body in her body, and she has Amenadiel's necklace, which gives human strength in this. And she assumes to beat up Michael, you know, send him flying around. And as she's on top of him, about to kill him, you hear in a godlike voice, you know, in the last episode of first half of the season, you hear God's booming voice. You hear a booming voice, but it is Lucifer saying, "Detective, don't, you know, this isn't like you." And Lucifer comes down unharmed, and he gets the blade, the flaming sword, which Michael had as a weapon, and because they agreed that the battle will be to the death. But Lucifer doesn't kill him. He chops off his wings and says that everyone has a chance at redemption. At that point, everyone that's still alive, which is essentially all the angels, Maze, Eve, Amenadiel, and the rest of the angels, and Chloe, all go on their knees, as in to say, you know, you are God. And even Michael does, because it turns out Michael tried to be God earlier when most people wanted him, but it turns out it needs to be a unanimous decision. So those are the breakdowns of each episode without revealing too much and everything that happens. Now, did I enjoy the second half of the season? I found it very entertaining, funny, and I love Lucifer's charismatic. Now, where would I rank this second half compared to the first half? Let me check. I would say it carries on the rest of, carry on. Now, the season as a whole, I would probably rank it as one of my favourites. Now, I don't think it beats season 1 or 2 in my opinion, but I would say it goes 1, 2, 5, and then 4 and 3 are joint. Now, the reason I say 4 and 3 are joint is I actually liked season 3 quite a lot, but for me, it just dragged on a little too much. Season 4, I liked it, but it was a bit short in my opinion. So having 16 episodes seems to work great for me. I liked it a lot, and I would say it's a must-watch season, and you should all give it a try. Anyway, I know I'm not the best at these. I will be trying to learn how to get better, so I'm sorry about that. Give me tips, but instead of like anyone hating, this is not a hate channel. Please, like, if you have any idea for how to improve, let me know in the section below. If there are any other videos you want me to cover, please let me know in the section below. Anyway, be sure to stay tuned, because at 4 o'clock today, I will be having, well, today as in when this comes out, I will be having another video, which is Can Percy Lift Up Thor's Hammer, and I think it will be easier to listen to than this one.